than what we've done in the past. So in the past, we're a private company, and we haven't given a lot of numbers and perspective to the outside. But today, you'll see a lot of numbers on the screen, both about how our business and how the ecosystem looks today, but also how we think it's going to look in the future. So by doing that, we're also setting some pretty tough targets for ourselves that you can then come back and hold us accountable for. So, what is Daraz? Daraz is the leading online marketplace in South Asia, empowering tens of thousands of sellers to connect with millions of customers. You've probably all heard some version of this statement before, and you're all thinking, what does that actually mean? Right? That's a very big statement. So we wanted to take a little bit of a step back and give you some perspective on Daraz as a group. So, as it was said before, Daraz is part of the Alibaba group, and we're still our own business, we're still Daraz, but we're also part of a bigger network, and that's bringing huge benefits to both our customers and to our sellers, and to all of our partners, that we can learn from the best. Currently, we have a business in 5 countries, which is Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and Sri Lanka. We have an assortment across the group of about 15 million products that are live at any given time, which is exceptional. And this is more than 10,000 in the last 12 months, so it's really growing at a very rapid speed. We have in any given month about 30,000 unique sellers that are active, so at least one order is how we define it. And we're catering to about 5 million active users every single month. But still, this number is growing on a monthly basis. Okay, but what is Daraz really, right? These are all very big numbers. So what we wanted to do today is to go a little bit behind the surface and tell you something more specific. So the way that I would like you all to think about Daraz, a meal bank during Nepali New Year. And we've also just started having a recurring Friday campaign with the meal bank, so that all the regular customers who want to get a good order, they can come on every Friday and get that on Daraz. Then we introduced the message center, so that all of your notifications about delivery, about campaigns, about promotions, it's all in one place, which is also very convenient. And this is one of my favorites, we introduced instant messaging and a QA feature, which means that customers and sellers, they can interact. So it's very easy for a customer to go onto the product page, ask a question, and then the seller can answer for everybody to see. Or you can have a private chat and say, for example, is this product waterproof? And then the seller can reply instantly, and they can say, do you have other color variations, and have chats on whatever you like. So this is a huge step forward, that we're actually opening up the marketplace and allowing our customers and our sellers to talk to each other. No. And we've done many other things. So, I'm guessing that most people in this room have at some point seen this app. Hopefully tried it. Or at least you know that it exists. But what most people don't know is that we have another app, which is designed for our sellers. And that actually, Daraz is also a university where we spend a huge amount of time building a curriculum and training modules for sellers. And the best part is that anyone who has a smartphone can start a business on Daraz. And the even better part is that our education is free. So this is something we're investing a lot in, really creating a university where all kinds of sellers, they can come and they can learn and they can be trained, and they can either do it online or they can do it offline in order to grow their business. This is how it looks when you sign up to our boot camps that we do in different places around the country. You can either sign up and do digital, like where we do online training sessions, or you can sign up for a physical boot camp and you can come to our office or one of our hub locations and get trained in person. We do this week in and week out, and every single month we keep adding more and more training modules to educate our sellers. So far we've educated about 2,000 sellers on our university. It's been live for about 8 months. And every month we educate another approximately 500 sellers. So this is how it looks like in practice, in case you're wondering. Very importantly, this is not just for new sellers who come on board, but it's also for existing sellers, because as the business grows, we will face new challenges together on logistics, on payments, on efficiency, on supply chain. So we always generate new content and new training modules to make sure that we're relevant for our sellers and we can take our business forward together. When we talk about sellers, as I said in the beginning, Daraz Mall is really the place where we have our top trained sellers. So our most professional sellers, you can always find in the Daraz Mall channel, as we call it, where you have faster shipping, you have always a commitment to very high quality products, and also an extended return period of 2 weeks. So, that's on the customer app and on our university for sellers. Now, let's talk about logistics. And logistics is tough, I'll be very honest, right? There's no way around it. The logistics is not difficult because there's a lack of service providers. We're actually quite lucky in Nepal that there's quite a lot of partners who are smart and they have a good delivery business that we can partner with. And there's a lot of willingness to learn. The reason why logistics is tough is because the ecosystem is not digitalized and it's not integrated. So in order to provide a good customer experience, we need it to be digitalized and integrated. Otherwise, what happens is I get an order from the customer, we process the order, we pick it up from the seller, we give it to a logistics provider, and then we don't know. Then maybe the customer calls after a week and says, "Where's my package?" We say, "We don't know." We'll call the logistics provider, and he needs to call some outpost and find the right paperwork, and then they need to give us an update, and then we need to call back to the customer. That doesn't work. You need to just be able to log into your app and see where's your package. So this is the challenge that we're trying to solve. We want every single Nepali to be able to access a fully digitalized ecosystem with fast delivery and visibility on tracking. Provide a good service, which is always more difficult if we work with partners. The 6 hubs that I showed you before, we also use them for experience centers. So that means that both for customers and for sellers to come in and get training or get advice. You can do easy pickups and returns, so you can pick up your packages if you prefer that rather than a home delivery. And you can always return your package without any hassle. We have personalized customer service, so you're always welcome to come in and have a chat. Also for people who haven't tried e-commerce before, we get a lot of people who come in and just ask, how does it actually work? Then we have people who can help them. And a friendly community. So people are always welcome, and we're not trying to sell people something just because they come in and ask questions. So that's how we utilize our infrastructure. Yes. Then, very importantly, one question that we get a lot is, can you deliver faster? And the answer is, yes, we can deliver faster, but not for all products. So one primary filter for everybody who wants fast delivery is to always look for the fulfilled by Daraz sign. That means, if it says fulfilled by Daraz, it means that we have the product in our warehouse. We keep the product on behalf of the seller in our warehouse. And that means we control the entire journey. We can ship it out and deliver it much faster than if we have to go and pick it up from the seller. So, fulfilled by Daraz is, I would like everybody to think about it as a service. And if you go into the app, you can always look for the service filter. Just click on fulfilled by Daraz. Then you will only see products that are coming from our own warehouse. We have about 10,000 square foot now. Warehouse space. We're expanding it very fast, and this is a service that we will invest in a lot going forward. So we continue to expand the assortment of products that we're keeping in the warehouse for fast delivery. So now the most important part. We've talked about the buyer app. We talked about the university. We've talked about how we're fixing logistics. We've talked about our fulfillment model for fast delivery. We've talked about payments. But how are we protecting the customer in all of this? Because the more participants we're adding to the marketplace, the more complex it becomes to make sure that the customer is always protected. And this is our most important job, right? That with thousands of marketplace participants, our most important job is actually to make sure the customer is protected. And what I can promise is not that there will never be mistakes. If we have a marketplace where we have thousands of participants, there will be mistakes. Ratings and reviews. This is also something that we're pushing a lot, where, I don't know if everybody's aware, but actually every single seller on Daraz has their own profile. You should always, if you look at a product, go here, look for the store. Go in and see what it actually means. Here you can see that this seller, on average, has 74% positive ratings. In 92% of the cases, this seller ships on time. So you can see how fast they deliver. And then you can see, for example, here's a customer who asks, is this product waterproof? Yes, or no, it isn't. And then, the customer is educated and they don't need to try it and receive the product in order to figure out what type of product it is. So having these profiles for all of the sellers with all of their ratings, and if you go in and click on the store, you can go in and see a lot more detail. Plus, having a huge focus on reviews. This is something where we really encourage everybody who's placing an order on the bus. Go and look at the product rating, and go and look at the seller rating. This will always help the purchasing decision. And what we also started recently is to have image reviews. Guys, can you be quiet? Thank you. So once you've bought a product, then we encourage all of the customers not just to leave a review, but take a picture of the product, upload it for other customers to see. This is what it looks like in reality after I unbox it. So we're trying to put much more information out there for customers to help them make qualified decisions and also prevent that people have bad experiences. Then one big problem that we've always had is refunds. Because if somebody buys a product, they're not happy with the product, they utilize our returns policy. That's fine, but how do we get the money back to the customer? Either we need to give them a voucher, which is always difficult to track, like a voucher code that you need to keep somewhere. Or with bank payments, then we need to go through the bank first, and then often it takes up to a month because it has to go through multiple different banks in order to get back into the customer account. This is obviously not a very good experience that you bought something, you're not happy, you return it, and then you have to wait up to a month to get the money back. In order to eliminate this problem, we're working on launching our own wallet, which will be ready soon, only for Daraz, where if you refund, then we can process it instantly. So you return the product, we put the money directly back into your account. It's all inside the app. And it's also a very convenient way to collect vouchers that you can just click on and say, ooh, this is interesting. Then you collect it and you save it in your wallet so you can use it in the future. So this is one thing we're very excited to also bring to Nepal. So if you summarize these topics that I just talked about, we designed what we call a customer protection policy that kind of encompasses all these things. And as we said, we cannot guarantee that mistakes will never happen, but we can make sure that whatever happens, we protect the customer. That means a commitment to genuine products, it means a commitment to safe and secure payments, and it means a commitment to free and easy returns. So, if I have to summarize what we went through, Daraz is a mall, a marketplace, and a community in your pocket. So think about the high street. Before, Daraz was just one mix of products and sellers. Now it's really something for everyone. Daraz is a university for entrepreneurs, and we educate about 500 sellers per month. This will continue to grow, and we're very, very excited about our university program to continue to expand it. We designed Nepal's first logistics solution specifically built for e-commerce. And we worked with all the marketplace participants by giving them technology in order to integrate and digitalize the system. This is key for the future e-commerce in Nepal. And for a premium experience, we encourage everybody to try Daraz Mall, where we have our top trained sellers and our Fulfilled by Daraz services, where you can order fast delivery from products that we keep in the warehouse. And lastly, purchase protection is really the biggest commitment that we have to make as a business in order to make this whole community and ecosystem work. So that's in summary the messages that I wanted to leave you with. But we also promised to talk a little bit about the future. So where do we go from here? And this is very exciting for us because it's the first time that we really open up as a company and really talk about where we see the future. So our mission is to make it easy to do business anywhere in the era of the digital economy. So to give that a little bit of context, the way we think about digitalization is we think about it actually on par with the Industrial Revolution. The fact that everything is being digitalized is going to mean massive changes to politics, commerce, culture, everything will be impacted by digitalization. It's the way we operate and the way we build the country. So our purpose is not just to embrace this change and be open to it, but we will take it on our shoulders to really drive this change and create the change. And we know that progress is not without challenges, but we're ready to be the innovator, and we're dedicated to overcome the challenges. That's what we tell our employees, right? This is our strategy, and that's what we want to do. But to make it even more specific, I will hand over to the managing directors of Daraz here in Nepal, and they will give you some aspirations that we've set for ourselves by 2022 of how we're going to lead Nepal into the digital era.